you get used to having the wind noise without earplugs, that's just you going deaf. You're not actually getting used to it. So what is up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. This is Ice on the IceTheCloser channel, and we have a great video for you today. I will be talking about my first time on the highway riding my motorcycle. So definitely was a very interesting experience, but before we jump into that, I do want to say thank you to everyone for all of your support. Over the past 2 weeks, the channel has grown tremendously, far quicker than I could have imagined. We had a video that went over 2,000 views, which was huge to me. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. For this video, I'm going to shout out Catalyst. I see you in the comments and stuff. I appreciate all the likes and just sticking through all of the videos, even the 45, the 30 view videos. So I just want to give a special shout out to Catalyst. But yes, welcome to the channel, and we're gonna jump right into the video. Here you can see me accelerating into the on-ramp. So I was just looking around. I use my mirrors a lot more to get my full 360 degree view. I know most motorcycle riders, even the MSF safety course, would prefer you to do head checks, and I did some head checks, but I actually felt a lot more safe just making sure I could see everything with my mirrors. So I had my mirrors slanted out a bit, but I'll keep experimenting with that. I just particularly was uncomfortable with the head checks because on the road that I'm driving on, people like to stop in front of you a lot, and so doing a head check and then getting hit with the car in front of you is not fun. So still learning. Again, first time on the highway. As you can see, I got up to speed pretty quickly for me. I am on an SV650, so it is a naked motorcycle. For those who don't know, it just means that there's a lot less plastics on it, and it's not as aerodynamic. It doesn't have as much fairings, which are the plastics that you'll see on your more sporty motorcycles with the higher pitch revs typically. But overall, I did not have an issue on the highway. The cars around were a bit overwhelming at first because everyone is moving a minimum of 70 miles per hour. You will see my speed is decently high at times. That is mainly because when I noticed that there was a lot of cars around and stuff, my first instinct is really to just get to safety, and I don't get to safety, especially in a motorcycle, by going slow and letting other people pass me. I got to safety by attacking traffic, making sure I kept everything in front of me so there was no surprises really. That way I didn't stay in anybody's blind spot. I didn't do anything stupid or anything, but mainly just attacking the traffic and make sure that I was in control of where I was going. I wasn't kind of putting myself at mercy of someone who may be texting and going 75 miles an hour or what have you, or just people who couldn't see me in general. So, I mean, overall, I did enjoy it. You will see the direction I'm going now. I'll go for about 3 miles, and then I will turn, or I think 7 miles, and then I'll turn around. This direction, the wind, felt great. Everything was cool. I was just enjoying myself. When I turned around, and you'll probably hear it in the video, the crosswinds, the winds coming at me from different directions, other than just the wind resistance that I was experiencing just from riding at this speed. The crosswinds were brutal. Like, goodness gracious, it was very difficult to deal with those crosswinds on the way back. This is me coming on the off-ramp to turn to the different direction. You'll also notice when I stop that I did not get all the way out of gear, partially because I wasn't used to coming to this off-ramp particularly, and I was just trying to figure out where to go. So again, another easy beginner mistake. I learned that I can move my bike from third gear, so definitely not ideal, but it was an interesting thing to learn. You'll also see the gear disappear on my screen, so I had no idea I was in third gear until I started riding again. So that was interesting. You can see me just kind of figuring it out as I go. But yeah, definitely coming back, the amount of power that it took for me to hang around 75 miles per hour was about the same amount of power it took me to go 87 to 89 on the way earlier in the video. Overall, this is also, like I said, my SV650. I felt like the SV650 did a good job handling the highway. That is a big reason I wanted a 650, so it has some versatility. Of course, it's not the most aerodynamic, so there was a lot of wind resistance, but the wind resistance that bothered me the most, as you can probably hear on this video, it should be starting to pick up now, was the crosswinds, not actually the winds from the bike. I could feel my head being pushed back a bit. I would say my head is not that big, but because I do have locks, my helmet is decently big, and my neck was being pushed back from this wind. So that was definitely fun. Overall, though, I did enjoy it. Anytime that you see the camera get really close to the dash, where you can see the speed and stuff, that's not me trying to show you the speed. That's me actually tucking down, trying to make myself more aerodynamic and a smaller target for the wind, so I'm not just a sail out here. However, since I don't necessarily have anything covering me from the wind, it just made the drone a little bit lower pitch, but it's definitely a drone. So if anyone is riding on the highway, if anyone is riding over 55 miles an hour on a motorcycle, one, you should have a full face helmet. If you feel like you're cool having your face out, that's on you, but I suggest you have a full face helmet for safety purposes. And even if you do have a full face helmet, you should have earplugs, because the wind noise is ridiculous, and it would just be a lot more comfortable of a ride. Don't get used to it, because if you get used to having the wind noise without earplugs, that's just you going deaf. You're not actually getting used to it. So I want you guys to make sure you can still hear well and all of that. Wear your earplugs, have your helmet on, everything strapped up, all your gear on. Yeah, if you go on the highway, I would just say make sure you do look around. As long as you can see all 360, including cars that are 2 lanes over, you should be fine. And make sure you signal your intent and all of that. But I did find it a lot more comfortable when I was accelerating to get to where I wanted to go, as opposed to just slowly going places, because that just made me feel like I was more in control of the bike and what I was doing. And you will notice that I tried to stay in either the 3rd position or the 1st position. For those who do not know, if you see the lane I'm in, you can kind of see a dark spot. That dark spot is closer to the 2nd position. The 3rd position is the one on the right, and the 1st position is the one on the left, of course. For motorcycles, you typically have 3 positions in the lane that you can ride in. And it is encouraged to stay in the 1st or 3rd, to stay away from whatever dark spots or gook that is, because you never know what type of oils a car can be. So I typically try to stay in the 3rd position, but I do meander to 2nd position a lot. Or I typically try to stay in the position that is closest to no one on a particular side. As I say that, I go to the middle lane. But again, you can see, even when I'm going to different lanes, I'm going past cars. I'm not just hanging out there and seeing what happens. So I don't have cruise control or anything like that. So I did enjoy it overall. It's not, I would not prefer going on the highway as opposed to maybe going on a 55 mile per hour road, which is very different than me in a car, because in a car, the fastest road available, the best. Whereas a motorcycle, the cleanest and the probably most efficient road around 55 to 65 miles an hour is what I would prefer. I wouldn't mind if the road's 70 or 75 if there's a little bit more protection from the wind, or there's more turns and stuff, more variance. But sitting at 75 or 80 miles an hour on the highway on a motorcycle, it's just not as fun. And since my motorcycle is not made to be going to 120, not that I would ever do that, but since it's not made to do that, I am sitting in my top gear most of the time, and that's frankly just not as fun for me. So with that is the end of our video today. I want to thank you all for coming through and watching. We're building and building. Hopefully we'll be hitting 50 subscribers in the coming days. So the love has just been really special, and I appreciate it. We're just going to keep, growing, and I have a lot more content for y'all that I already have recorded, so I just have to edit it and get it out, get the quality right. I will also be putting the link in the description of a 50-second clip of this actual video right now when I was getting onto the ramp with kind of mixtape vibe to it. So definitely extremely extra, but I figured I was gonna have some fun with it. So I'll put the link in the description for that. And otherwise, I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and we will have more content out to you shortly. God bless. Peace.